everyone, my name is Sarah Winkelman, and this is my rebuttal on debate 4. I picked side B, which was that the U.S. should stop providing aid and money to the Saudi Arabians that are leading a coalition in Yemen, and I am rebutting from the other side, going against side A. I specifically liked Alyssa, I cannot pronounce your last name, Sokolowski, potentially, her debate, which was that the U.S. should continue aid to Saudi Arabian coalition in Yemen. So I have a lot of feelings about this. I'm very, very against the U.S. providing aid in that region. I don't think it's helped in Iraq, Afghanistan, anywhere else we provided aid at this point. It often just goes to the people that we don't want it to go to. So it'll go to the rebels, like the Houthis, who are actively trying to destroy us. That, as Alyssa mentioned, that their slogan is "Death to America, death to Israel, death to the Jews," or "Curse to the Jews," or something like that. So it doesn't really go to where it's supposed to go. Our aid is supposed to go to the people who are literally dying of starvation and being raped and murdered in the rebel-led regions, rebel-controlled regions. And of course, the rebels are stopping that aid from going to the people who actually need it. They're taking it for themselves, for money for weapons and food, and basically to just continue functioning as a terrorist organization or as a rebellious group. So while I do think it's a good idea in theory, it hasn't been proven to help the people that actually need it. So the U.S. is kind of just wasting their money by giving it to them, unfortunately. Alyssa also mentioned that when the U.S. pulls out of tense regions like this, there often tends to be what she described as a power vacuum, which is when the U.S. leaves, we are the main governmental force, the military. We are the ones who are controlling that area. And when we leave, the different types of groups are trying to get in control, which does create a power vacuum, and I totally agree with that. But as she mentioned as well, the U.S. is the world police, and I just don't feel like we have to be the world police. I don't understand why we have to be that person. Why can't anyone else do it? Why are we the ones that are giving up our lives and our money to help the world who is trying to kill us? So obviously that's a little controversial, but that's how I feel. So that's my point on that. And then she also mentioned that Iran is involved in this situation. Totally agree that Iran is involved and integrated itself within Yemen, within the terrorist organizations, ISIS and Al-Qaeda. While those aren't like specifically Iranian, they still have Iranian ties, as most terrorist organizations do, with the slogan "Death to America and death to Israel." That's Iran's whole point in existing at this point, for the most part. Not Iranians, but the government of Iran. Wanted to make that clear. So, so it obviously is a concern, a national security concern, that Iran has integrated itself within Yemen and infiltrated their rebels and their different types of institutions, for sure. But I also think that we can't stop Iran. We can't stop Iran from being involved in Yemen, but in the long run, we're much more powerful than Iran, economically, militarily, everything. So I don't really see them as a huge threat. I know that's also controversial, but all the research I've done, all the classes I've taken, it seems that China and Russia are the bigger threats than Iran, which took me a long time to realize and a long time to be convinced of, but recently I've been feeling that way. And I also think that Saudi Arabia has the ability to handle it with, if we need to just send them money or weapons, then we can. But I think for the most part, they can handle it themselves because they have a huge economy and they have a huge population that could fight against Iran because most of that, those are the big superpowers in the Middle East are fighting against one another, is Iran and Saudi Arabia. So I don't think it would be too hard to recruit people to go and fight against Iran. So, those are my couple of points on the situation. Alyssa, if you're watching your debate was amazing. I just completely disagree, but I think you made some really great points. So, thanks for watching, and have a great Thanksgiving.